Temptation is the name of the second mission in the Final Shape campaign, and with our current goal consisting of us searching for Crow, I can already begin to analyze the thematic leanings of this chapter. Temptation as a theme is not uncommon in this series. In Beyond Light, temptation was the abstraction of the inner conflict our character faced. Would we succumb to our most basic instincts, becoming frozen in time as a one-dimensional character? Or would we be able to resist these simple desires, mastering these powers, and grow as a person? The witness no doubt knows that we followed suit. They, of course, wish to enact their final shape, and will almost certainly do their best to stop us. With Crow scouting ahead by themselves, the witness probably aimed to exploit this opportunity and to tempt Crow in some manner. Full-on conversion might not even be the witness's end goal. If they could cause even a moment of hesitation in a critical moment, that could be good enough. Cade notes how it's odd to be back on comms, but it does remind him of the good old days. This is where he fills us in on the situation at hand. In terms of the mission structure, we start off right where we ended. The Pale Heart as a destination is linear in design, with our end goal being the witness's monolith at the center. So, not only is everything physically connected, it feels connected due to the mental map of the location being clear. Savathun's throne world wasn't that open, so every part of it felt pretty disconnected, even though they were on the same map. The landmarks in Neomuna were connected, but because we never took the time to explore the location, our bouncing between the same areas for each mission made everything feel disjointed in comparison. This linear design allows for a steady progression, as we are guaranteed to stumble into a new area at an intended point in time. This way it always feels like we're making progress, even though we don't even know if we're going to reach the witness, let alone know how we even plan to stop such a powerful being. After dropping down, I land in the landing. However, this location is eerily silent and empty. The game edges me for a rather prolonged period of time, and just as I'm about to lose it, error code cabbage loosens the server's grip and knocks me up into orbit, much like how you just knocked off that like button. Everything is indeed a lucky guess. Here we are in the landing this time. Second time around, the enemies went ahead and spawned in. That's why I ended up getting kicked out. Pretty funny that that happened, but you know, there we are. Server issues still showing their ugliness this deep in. Already we've gone ahead and encountered enemies with prismatic shields. Luckily, a prismatic well is provided to us. Yeah, getting frozen is really annoying. Good thing I remember to find that key. That's not something I've had to use too much before now, as last time was definitely during Beyond Light. Tormentor, you know, one of the more annoying enemy types, especially due to me not recognizing the blast immunity and how to deal with that until, well, you'll figure out whenever I figure that out, because I will point it out. Most of my damage that was done there was thanks to the freezing, then blasting it apart. So really have to wait for my turret to come back or get prismatic real quick right here. Make sure it doesn't slam me, but it did. I'm pretty sure that takes me out of prismatic, which is interesting to know that suppression can do that. That's actually incredibly powerful suppression, but it makes sense that it can suppress everything because it should be equally powerful in turn. Tormentor slowed down, you know, the nade for the Warlock Prismatic is honestly pretty good. The melee is not as good, but you know, that's just what I'm feeling right now. It's not even like the melee is bad. It's just dependent on the melee, and I don't think the Void one is the best in this situation at the very least. Luckily, I go ahead and finish up that Tormentor. Can't do that against Imprint, which makes them especially annoying and incredibly troublesome, like the fight with Callus proved. Here I'm just observing the effects of the nade completely. Pretty good. Yep, so the bird is pointed out specifically. I'm definitely sure that that is representative of the Traveler.
Blight, where's the damn kid? I've been trying to reach you both on comms for hours. Gone. The hell do you mean, gone? on. The anomaly we were investigating, it's a construct of darkness, I think, a cave mouth. It felt wrong, like it doesn't belong here. I begged him not to go inside, but you know how he is. I tried to follow, I did. The barrier, this place, the cave, it's impossible for me to push past it all.
Stay where you are. We'll find a way through.
All right, so we end up finding Glint, Crow's ghost. Crow has separated from him, and he's pushed inside to an area where Glint is not allowed. So that's gonna head in, starting to lead the mystery of, what drew Crow in. Taking note of the title of this mission, Temptation, I'm sure that, the witness is playing some intense mind games with Crow right now. All right, before we can get to where Crow is, we have to break the barrier blocking us, and that requires us to secure this location.
Control that barrier between us and Crow.
Having a melee that's not fucking garbage is so weird. Psionic insights.
I was never good at puzzles. It was always more a chorus thing.
There we have Cade admitting that, he's not good at puzzles. Makes sense as a hunter. So it's up to us to figure this device out. So these conduits require psionic insights. Yep, and upon killing those psions, I collect stacks of psionic insight. If you look at the buff bar on the left, there I have 4. Yeah, so with the final shape, they did go ahead and change how buffs are placed. No longer do all of them go on the left side. Instead, some of them can be on top. Some of them are where your super and ability charges are. Yep. All right, the little shards of darkness indicate to me where the rest of these contraptions are. They're also marked by the objective marker. I just need to make sure I count enough psions in order to get enough psionic points and don't mix up clockwise from, counterclockwise. The combat section is fairly well paced. Like, there's always enough enemies for you to be constantly shooting at, but there's not so many that it becomes overwhelming thanks to, how the location and fights are structured. Like, each location was like pretty much contained in an area by itself, and they're fairly far apart that, you only had to worry about the main group of enemies to fight against. This area already pretty massive. Yeah, so far the mission has forced us to loop around. We've been blocked off by a cave entrance, and we've, looped on to the other side of the landing, which is pretty good use of the map and good level design. We were led to a location, now we were wrapped around to a location we didn't have to be at before. And this location, is decorated pretty interestingly as well. There's plenty of stuff to, make it stand out, look unique. There's a waterfall, just generally good level design. It's just taking me a while to get rid of all these enemies and to complete this puzzle. You can do multiple movements with just one location.
What do you make of that?
That's definitely good. That makes sense.
Well, it seems pretty obvious to me. I think it's pretty obvious to you, too. The real mystery is why nobody wants to say it out loud. I will. The Traveler. It's helping us.
Wow, thanks for that, Glint. I mean, like Cade said, it was pretty obvious to him, and it was pretty obvious to us, and it was pretty obvious to me. So, just in case you did not get it, Glint is there for you. Dude, when I see the rally banner circle, I'm like, oh, dude, I get hyped so much, actually. I'm like, oh my god, I can actually fucking play the game. Let's go. All right, here it is, our first official boss, the Pillar of Denial. Blocking us from the Pillar of Denial are these massive taken blights, occupying, the entire fighting arena. They are annoying because they reflect all of our abilities and ammo, which is really annoying, and it forces us to fight in this close range, which is really, really bad when your DPS weapon is a grenade launcher. I'm struggling pretty bad because I'm not paying attention to the Grim at all. There we go. I finally look up after popping Transcendence. I'm able to do a massive amount of damage with this though. Dropping another Transcendence nade before I have to leave it though. Yeah, I'm just taking note of all the changes they've done to the buff menu. Pretty good. I wish originally they did tease that some of the buffs would be on the right side of the screen. I end up dying here, getting overwhelmed. Let's see how exactly I die. I'm just falling back to my well. I get pushed out. I get pushed into a blight. Yeah, I just get overwhelmed. Not good. Just not good target acquisition and priority. And I just get overwhelmed because I'm bad. But yeah, like I was saying about the buff menu, I do wish that you had the option at the very least to have some of the buffs on the left side or right side. Like maybe separate the buffs, keep them on the left and keep debuffs on the right side of the screen. Alas, here I am. Second try. A little bit more prepared. Gonna go ahead and drop Well, or not drop a turret. I guess I don't do that. I drop a turret a little bit delayed. Don't know why I held on to it for so long in the beginning though. That's, you can't cook this game. The turret really helping me out by freezing everything so I can just shatter them. And I end up killing myself. Very cool. So what happens here is while I'm spamming away the edge transit, I'm questioning what killed me there. And here, so what happens is the Taken Blight spawns in, but the hitbox actually, so the Taken Blight starts forming as we see by the particle effects. So we're gonna rewind completely. Gonna pull us back. All right, so now I pull out that edge transit, and here we go. I'm just gonna spam off a bunch of shots since it's in clear view, doing a massive amount of damage. And we see the Taken Blight start to spawn in. However, the actual visual for the barrier of the outside of the Taken Blight takes a couple of seconds to spawn in after the Taken Blight hitbox already is created, which makes it really annoying to predict when I can't spam shots. So that's something I definitely need to pay attention to. Hopefully it doesn't kill me again. All right, here I am. And oh, would you look at that? Spamming. All right, there we go. I realized that I am killing myself because I realized that in the top right corner, I killed myself due to misadventure, which means, no enemy did any damage to me at the very end to, finish me off. And I did the most damage to myself. So it didn't take me too long to figure out that, what was killing myself. Hopefully I'm able to adapt and react to that. And this death will be the last one of these in this fight. Now that I know what caused them specifically. All right, I'm not completely sure, I guess, in game. I'm still doubting what exactly is killing me, but I did come with the hypothesis. Here we are. I'm going Transcendent and popping my super off the bat. Guess I'm changing up the strategy since the edge transit was doing a lot of damage, but it was killing me, and the pillar pushes me off and I get stuck and I just completely die. Wow. I didn't die to me killing myself, but that arguably might be worse, honestly. All right, here we are back again, fighting a pillar denial, pulling out the edge transit, spam clicking away, and I killed myself again. Wow. Here we are at the Blight again, spam clicking away, almost killed myself. And because I didn't kill myself, I do realize that the Blights were the problem. So while I came up with the hypothesis, it took me this long until I finally figured out that the Blights were indeed the problem. Probably should have played like they were the problem anyways. Well, I kind of did when I popped my super, but I still died to them anyways. Someone in my chat comes in and confirms it. I don't know if the server issues are causing the delay or if the Blights are just trolling me. That's something that I would like to pay attention to in the future whenever I revisit this level. But now that I do know that is an issue confirmed, I can play around it. Here we are taking care of this fight pretty well, and I end up dying by killing myself because I step back. Did I step back? No, let's see, what is it? Because of my Bleak Watcher? Yes, I do believe I kill myself, but this time instead of the Blight, the grenade bounces off my Bleak Watcher and kills me. So that time I mentioned in game how I don't notice the Blight spawning in front of me, but that's because it wasn't the Blight that my grenade launched off of. It was actually my Bleak Watcher turret. So that is something I've definitely died to an explosive bouncing off a Bleak Watcher before, but that is something that is now in my mind. Rather unfortunate that time around. I was playing around the Blights as well, but at least I have a solid strategy in place. Or I just troll and kill myself. Nice, good one. Just use your grenade launcher in the Blights. I guess I just wanted to test what happened if I did that. Not good things. Not good things. All right, here we are, 8 time around. Wow, that was. Oh, were you throwing your cold snap, bro? Off the map. I just threw my grenade off the map. Great aim. But I brought the Pillar of Denial down to its last bar. Ooh, almost dying due to the Scion pushing me. Wow, this Scion is actually bullying me. That's crazy. Somehow I do manage to live. It retreats back into the Blight, so I can't really attack it. A couple of Grim in the air. Probably going to go ahead and take care of those, no problem. This fight isn't bad in particular, except for the Blight. It's really those Blights making it so, half my kit, you know, the damage side is pretty unusable outside of the opportunities where I forcefully run in, right? Because I can't use my grenade launcher inside the blights because they'll just kill me. So I can only really use my bow and my waveframe to slowly whittle down. And the time frame in which I have to DPS the icon or the Pillar of Denial are only when I have the blights destroyed. Ooh, the physics almost taking me out there while getting hit into the wall. That's probably one of the most dangerous things that can happen. Somehow it hit me with no follow-up damage. A cold snap goes in, doesn't really proc properly. However, I am able to freeze it, destroy the blight. The Pillar of Denial is dropped down to 1 HP, and my turret will go ahead and take it out. 7 deaths, but there we go. I finally take it down. Most of those deaths were completely my fault and were pretty avoidable. Like the fight itself was that bad. It was just, I don't know, it just felt kind of slow and not like there was just not enough enemies. I kept on dying to myself too. To be honest, it's mostly a skill issue on my end. I was like, oh, wow. Imagine not utilizing the mechanic well. But yeah, I wish there was, like, look at this. My abilities are still on cooldown. Also, I was not using Transcendent. All right, the next rally banner is basically right after the next one. This location, here we are, a nice crystalline cave entrance. I assume that location ahead is what Glint is talking about. Although, since Glint said they're coming in with us, maybe that barrier is the barrier that Glint was talking about in the first place. However, it does seem like he was able to get a little bit more into the cave than where we are right now. So this fight is going to start off by giving us access to a prismatic well, unlike the previous fight, which indicates to me that we will have to use the well in order to destroy some prismatic shields like we see immediately with the Cabal and Cindior. Prismatic wells also kind of makes the fights a lot easier because I get access to all the benefits that Prismatic provides, the damage increase, the damage reduction, and the nade and melee that are continuously regenerating. And I get that, you know, alongside my regular kit as well. So honestly, Prismatic is kind of crazy. And the levels that they are included with definitely have to compensate for this extra bump in power. Some of them do, some of them don't, you know. Just depends on the encounter types of enemies and what we're doing. I'm able to maximize the potential of my edge transit, so you know the boss enemies are actually able to go down much easier this time around. Unfortunately, an Enlightened Omen is a subjugator and not a tormentor. I think I accidentally said unfortunately. I meant to say fortunately. And the prismatic well is really, really good for us, especially the Warlock nade, because the Enlightened Omen is stuck in this one location, so it's getting sucked in and exploded all in, you know, one proc, which is really, really good for us. And, you know, going ahead and drop some cool snap grenades, drop a turret, and I can just stay back in the prismatic well and just drop some more nades on it. Honestly, this area really too easy with the prismatic Warlock grenade. I think the previous fight, had I not used the edge transit and switched to a different heavy weapon of the non-explosive variety, it would have been a little bit easier because I would not have killed myself 5 times. But you know, some encounters are just going to be more challenging to me than other encounters based on my loadout. So this encounter, you know, the easiness made up for the annoyances of the previous encounter. Although, you know, I guess I do wish it was easier. Although in the future, I could make it easier on myself by not spamming prismatic. But yeah, that fight was just a little bit too easy. I do wonder how it would fare on Titan and Hunter based on their kits. So even though I unlock Storm Grenade here, I don't really end up using it. I do switch my melee to the Incendiar stat. And because of that, I think I decided to also switch my super to Nova Bomb Cataclysm, just because I need more light generation in order to get up my Transcendence meter. Because for the darkness, I have my Verglasker, which seems to be working pretty well. And I also have specifically my Cold Snap Grenades, which are basically a cheat code for darkness energy generation. The Traveler is going to go ahead and lead us in.
This must be it. That's right.
Oh, I did not expect us to get pulled through. Wow, this is... Oh, interesting. We literally can't... It's yanking us back. Oh, we can force our way there now.
What is this?
Oh, what is happening? Whisper. Did I break the cutscene slightly?
Unending life of certitude. It's in my mind, trying to tear me apart. Let us free you.
We took damage. The health bar was splintered off. Like, there was like 2 sections I regened by itself. There's like a small part. It's like robust.
I did it.
I hope we're not actually seeing something happen to our ghost, because if we are, it's really sad that I missed that as well.
Our voice was
Did he just get pulled through? All right, so the witness was trying to take control of her ghost. Of course, I decided, while, this game's having massive server issues, to try to mess with the cutscene. So here I am just, trying to break through the glass portal incision made by the witness. This down effect is definitely supposed to be taking place inside wherever the darkness cave is, but me being outside doesn't seem to have actually messed up anything, which is good. The witness is unable to take complete control of our ghost and just, talks to us instead. So I wonder if, because of Crow's intuition, the witness was unable to take control of Glint, and which means that Crow's intuition was pretty good and saved them overall, because maybe Glint might not be as strong as our ghost, although Glint might be, it might have been strong enough, but, probably better to not have risked it. Hopefully Crow is doing fine.
That diorama. It is but a facsimile. A testament to loyalty. An expression of longing. Crow. We see his heart, held in talons. We hear it beat with his twin sister's sweet. Within final shape, we often a vision of a bride. With yours, friends, looking for him with trust. But, like you, he chose pain. You use the darkness to exploit Crow's memories? And the light, to give them form. Don't you see how beautiful it all could be?
So the witness explains, its thought process and what it's going through and how it tried to convert Crow. So it peered into Crow's memories through the power of darkness. And here it is, it's talking about how it offered him a vision of, providing him with, Mars loyalty, the power of friendship, blah, blah, blah. But Crow actually decided not to take it. And as the witness put it, chose pain, which in turn means resisting against him. So we know that Crow decided not to fall for whatever the witness used to tempt him to the dark side. As we can put it, pretty simple. There's actually not too much for me to analyze. I made it way more complicated than, the actual words being said, but that's what I gotta do. Interestingly enough, in the follow-up here, when the ghost questions the witness's actions, the witness actually goes ahead and says how it used the light to give those memories form, which this means to me that the witness is also able to use the light. All right, so Ghost questions, the witness and its intentions when it used the darkness to exploit Crow's memory, and the witness gives an interesting response as it said that it used the light to give those memories form. Not only is this referencing the thematic leanings of how the darkness and the light, relate to memory as I've discussed previously, but it also clues us into one of the witness's abilities, and that is the power to also use the light. I did not think that this was originally the case. I don't know if this is because we're specifically in the Traveler. I thought that it was specifically purely a being of darkness, so it would be stuck with using darkness. However, because it might be in the Traveler, that might be what it allows it to use the powers of light now. In contrast, we are also able to use the light and darkness. However, until, the previous mission, it wasn't until then we were able to merge light and darkness together into prismatic. So while the witness might be able to use light and darkness, I don't believe it has the same prismatic powers that we do. Making the walls, bro. Okay, this is just a pit, just to troll me? I was like, bro, there's no way to just a pit to... Just go backwards real quick. So this pit is literally just trolling. What is happening? No, I'm just bad. I'm literally just trolling myself. Hello, jump. Okay. Oh, that's what was happening. I was being hit by the rock. Okay. Okay. That's bad. This looks very Jimmy City-esque in its architecture. Yeah, it's like myself throwing it. Always with rotate.
Erase these golden stains in the dreaming city. The great Crow, dominion of the reef, the awoken, and all the stars beyond. But he chose pain.
Once again, fairly self-explanatory. You know, the witness offered Crow a lot, but Crow stands in defiance to the witness. The creepiness and body horror aesthetic, you know, that is leaned into in this specific section is, you know, pretty horrifying.
Crow believes he is resisting temptation. As you. The material is immaterial. Only purpose will cure his heart. And he believes his capacity for pain is that purpose.
There, up ahead.
Oh, it's a statue. All right, so this line is now referencing the title of the mission quite directly. The witness states that Crow believes. Oh, so okay. So the witness believes that Crow believes that he is witnessing temptation. You know, much like we do. Temptation being, of course, what the witness is offering. This goes into how the witness then states that the material is immaterial. Basically saying reality and what could be reality are, you know, whatever the witness wants it to be. That's what I believe he means by that. The following line by the witness where they state only purpose can cure his heart and he believes his capacity for pain is that purpose is fairly straightforward. Basically, Crow believes that their purpose is to resist against the witness and incur whatever pain that entails. Pretty straightforward, to be honest.
There, up ahead.
Oh, it's a statue. Did he embrace the darkness within?
Quiet. Listen.
Darkness embracers?
I've seen these veiled statues before. You have too. It's
Yes, I have.
something, but I can't quite make it out.
Stop listening to it.
I told you to wait outside. This place is... I don't know what kind of effect it's going to have on you.
He's right, Blight.
I don't care.
Our ghost is in here.
He doesn't get to
Oh,
be
what are you talking about?
We're supposed to be a team. Guardian and Ghost. That's how the Traveler made us.
I'm sorry.
Don't ever leave me behind again. Promise.
I promise.
Let's set up camp outside. Kate's not far.
Of course he isn't. Tell me you got the drop on him at least.
You and the Guardian both need better boots.
Well, maybe I'll get lucky this time.
Interesting. All right, so our meeting with Crow was pretty uneventful, which is good. We instead get a small little interaction between Glint and Crow where they reinforce their friendship. Glint even mentions how the Traveler made the Guardian and Ghost together to be a team, right? The Guardian is resurrected by the Ghost, and the Ghost is able to resurrect the Guardian over and over, right? They're pretty inseparable. The reinforcement of the dogma that is semi-religious, that like ideally behind, you know, the Traveler is also like reinforced here because Glint is saying, you know, Ghost makes decisions based on what the Traveler says, which is quite, you know, religious in its undertones, which I'm pretty sure is like not supposed to be implicit. So far, everything has been fairly explicit in its biblical references. All right, we end the encounter with a small little line of banter, you know, making a little joke, you know, lightening the mood. But the interesting thing that was developed before the character interaction between Crow and their Ghost, which was nice to see. It's good to see the Guardian and Ghost interact. And, you know, that Guardian Ghost isn't actually us. You know, it's good to see them, those interactions between other characters, especially one that, you know, we have such a personal relationship. But, you know, the more interesting thing and mystery that is now at play is these veiled statues. The veiled statues have returned, and thanks to the subtitles that are provided to us, we know that they are whispering unintelligibly. That's what the noise is supposed to be. Crow hints, you know, at that there's a deeper nature behind these veiled statues, leading to, you know, us to question, why do these veiled statues exist? What is their purpose? And why have they been brought back, and why is one here? So the mystery of the veiled statues is now the biggest question that is at the forefront of our mind. All right, Crow leaves and returns to base, which ends Mission 2, Temptation.